What's up, guys? It's gonna be a little bit different video coming out from my channel. It's gonna be a VOD review actually, and I'm gonna be kind of analyzing the VOD. It's a solo queue game. It's a pretty much a challenger game in North America. This is Dhokla, who's the academy top laner for Optic, versus TF Blade, who's the current rank 1 holder, also season 7 rank 1, rank 2 holder, Zerelia. I'm actually in this game, but I'm not the one playing Camille. I think Dokla's Camille is actually probably on par with my Camille, and in terms of a top laner, he's actually probably better than me overall. And we'll see how this matchup plays out. Traditionally, this is a matchup that is very snowbally. I think it's, a traditional 1v1 sense, it's definitely favored towards the Aurelia without jungler's interference, but it is a matchup that with the jungler's help, Camille can win and snowball out of, and especially since Aurelia doesn't have the best escapes, it is definitely a matchup that junglers should try to gank, especially for the Camille side. So as you see, the matchup starting, I think this matchup's Camille took Comet and Aurelia took PTA, both pretty standard. Camille went with Resolve Secondary, which is also standard with Doran's Blade. The reason why you go Doran's Blade is because you already have the second wind, so you don't really need the sustain from Doran's Shield. So right here, this trade was kind of interesting. So they decide to fight for the melees. I think Dhokla could have played this a little bit better. So Aurelia goes on him. He kind of uses his W, which loses him an auto or two. Just one auto, I would say. And then he doesn't quite get the Aurelia with the outer edge of his W. Kind of annoying that the replay doesn't show the W outer radius, but whatever. So right here, Aurelia autos, he gets the passive shield, but then he just W's, even though Aurelia's Q still up. So that's just a minor mechanical mistake. Either way, Aurelia gets the short end of the trade just because of Camille's passive shield and the fact that Comet does a lot of damage. So right here, Dhokla misses one creep. He actually has the creeps pushing towards Aurelia's side. The Aurelia lost about 300 health. He does pop his corrupting potion, but Aurelia staying a little bit lower health than Camille is fine for Aurelia, as she will be able to stun the Camille. But anyways, TF Blade's in an okay spot. All this wave is pushing into him, and Warwick is posturing top for a dive. Right here, Dhokla takes a really good trade. So if we replay that, Dhokla has Q up. So what he does is, TF Blade's still level 1. He knows that TF Blade will go for this creep with his Q. So what he does is, as soon as he goes for that, he goes for the auto Q to reset his auto attack timer, which is really good. And he gets his passive shield up. He doesn't have his stun because he's still level 1, so he gets auto Q. I think TF Blade, since he did get level 2 off that creep, what he should have done is instantly level up his E and stun the Camille, and then that way you don't get autoed. You probably will still get autoed by the Camille once or twice, but you can still stun and try to walk out. But anyways, this is a really good trade done by Dhokla. Gets the Comet proc as well, and now Aurelia is 250 health and within dive range. And we see Nunu and Warwick meeting, but level 3 Warwick compared to level 3 Nunu, Warwick has a massive edge over. And we see the rest of the lane play out. Dhokla will be hitting level 3 off this, and they're done for a dive. So this is a huge blunder by actually Blabberfish, I think, if we roll back the clip a little bit. Not sure what happened, but I don't know why Blabber's trying to run this way. I think Blabber's best route after Warwick takes the blast plant in is to run this way, because look at top wave, look how much creeps there are, and Dhokla hits level 3 off of this. TF Blade cannot go help the Nunu at all. Like this creep wave is way too big for TF Blade to ditch. So Blabber definitely should have pathed towards the Malzahar Malzahar obviously is weaker, but even if he passes this way, he should be okay if he just runs out with his Blood Boil and keeps snowballing the Warwick. But either way, this is a Blabberfish's mistake to not recognize that both his lanes are getting shoved in and currently losing the HP trades. So anyways, right here, the Nunu walks over this way, and at this point, TF Boy tries to stun this guy, and Nunu blows his flash. And right now, Nunu losing his 250 health, blowing his flash, sets up a prime dive for topside. So now we see the Warwick coming in. The Nunu cannot help this. He doesn't have flash. He's already doing Krugs, and he cannot contest this bush, because if he contests this bush, Warwick will destroy him in a 1v1. So what he has to do is walk around, and by the time he walks around, Relia, she's already at 400 health, still level 2. The Warwick and the Camille definitely has enough damage to kill the Relia before Nunu even gets there, and he doesn't have flash. He can't flash and chase someone down. So let's roll the clip. So Warwick actually gets the steal, and Nunu can't contest this at all. And Nunu ends up dying. And this is a huge blunder by Blabber. Starting from here, he should have ran down this way. He needed to give up these Krugs and just back off. So right here, as soon as Warwick comes to contest, you see where Camille is positioned. He's level 3 to TF Boy's level 2. TF Boy cannot come help at all. If he comes to help, even if this trade ends up in like one for one, which is probably the best it's ever going to turn out to be, just because of how the healths are working out, and also the level 3 disparity between Warwick and Nunu, and not to mention the Azir already got priority mid lane and is already roaming up. So Nunu has to back off here this way, but instead he lingers on, trying to take some of the Krugs. I really don't know what he's doing. I am not sure. He doesn't even have flash. So he gives up free first blood and double buffs to Camille, and that is just a huge blow for TF Blade. And this is not really TF Blade's fault, so to say, other than that level 2 trade that was kind of poorly played by TF Blade. This matchup early on, level 1 to 4, Camille definitely has the edge. I would say post 5. Oh, that's a bad E by Dhokla, but that's right. So he has double buff, so he's looking for active trades right now. He has really good vision control. They pretty much know where Nunu is at all times. And now he's in a lane where he pretty much he's letting the lane shove into him, and TF Blade is pretty scared because he does not know where Nunu is yet. That Warwick is yet. Warwick does get spotted out. He's still fighting the Nunu. And TF Blade chooses to recall as he has no potions left. Dhokla gets a really nice cancel, and this is denying TF Blade more and more XP right here, as you see. So if you see this, what this recall cancel does, low elo top laners don't do this often enough. They'll just be content letting someone recall and think like, oh, the lane's slow pushing into me, this is perfect, they can recall, it's fine, they'll miss minions. But the thing is, if you cancel their recall while the lane's slow pushing into you, they have to, first of all, stop their recall, they have to run and then recall and then TP back, so they end up missing a ton of XP. So right here, TF Blade should probably pick up this XP. He gets that XP, he misses this one, so 1 melee, 2 melee, another range creep. I don't know if he'll miss a cannon, we'll see. I think he will miss the cannon. Another range creep, so that's 2 range creeps, 2 melees, and a cannon. That's almost a full wave. And he misses another caster. So he just pretty much missed a full wave worth of XP. So if you look at the XP difference, Camille's almost level 5, whereas Aurelia's a little bit behind her. But the thing is, look how many creeps are on Aurelia's side. Look how many creeps that Camille's gonna kill and get XP out of. There's even a cannon minion. Camille's already ahead of the XP with 1, 2. So she has 5 creeps on her side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 creeps on Aurelia side. So that's a full wave that Camille will catch. And that's just a huge level disparity in the top lane right now. And this is mostly just because the Nunu definitely messed up the early game. But at the same time, this recall stop was really good by Dhokla. I think TF Blade's best bet right here was maybe... I think maybe you recall right here. Because he can't really fight the Aurelia at all right now. And with the double buffs on... I mean, not the Aurelia, the Camille at all, with the double buffs. And he gets that recall stop, which is just brutal. And he can't stick around for this wave. If he does, he will get solo killed by Camille, and he has no jungler to help him out to shut this lane. So TF Blade honestly didn't misplay this lane too much. Dhokla did a good job of pressuring the lane early with Camille's superior early levels, and Warwick did a good job of playing off those strengths. Oh, that's an interesting E. Let's replay that. So the lane's in a nice freeze. What TF Blade's trying to do is he's trying to push this in so he can reset it, so that he can have the wave shoving back to him. And right here, that's just a really bad E. That should have been a flash blown by TF Blade, and that should have been game over, at least for top lane. It's an interesting visual bug. So right here, Warwick's coming. All Dhokla has to do, as soon as Aurelia queues into here, is start running this way. Because look at this creep. This is Aurelia's only way out, right? So all Dhokla has to do is run this way. Let's do my LS pen stuff. Doesn't work. I have to do borderless. I have to do borderless. No, that works. Yeah, I'll do window. How about that? So all he has to do is run this way. Apply the red buff here if he can to slow him, and if he can do that, then Aurelia at the very least has to burn flash, and Warwick also has flash. So this could have been a kill regardless, because the Camille does have red buff to slow this Aurelia down, and Aurelia, all she has is a longsword, Doran's blade, doesn't have stopwatch yet, so this should have been at least a flash burn and maybe a kill. And this would have been just over for TF Blade, but pretty big blunder on Dhokla's part to kind of E like that. So he does do a good job of freezing, and now there's nothing that TF Blade can do really, even with that mistake on Dhokla's part. With how this lane is frozen and how much of a XP lead that this Camille has. Camille hasn't even gone to shop yet. She just has a Doran's blade, hasn't used her potion yet. There's just nothing TF Blade can do to really walk up, because Warwick can just run past these wards very easily. So the lane is slowly shoving back out to TF Blade, and he just has to be careful and catch this wave. And we see Malzahar roaming up, ping is coming down, and Dhokla should know that Malzahar is coming up, and backs off accordingly. I do think Dhokla should have maybe looked to recall earlier. So maybe at this point of the game, after the failed gank, when he froze this wave up, I think maybe this was a good time to recall and just TP back. With that, if he does do that, then he can get the Sheen, maybe a Phage. Right now he has 1500 gold, and get a huge item lead and pressure the Aurelia further. I think what he was scared of was Aurelia resetting the wave, but the wave ends up resetting anyways. Let's see how if he could have froze this harder. So right here, the minion wave hits the tower, which I think was a mistake. So he should have tanked this wave further. Right here, he should have walked into this bush. He does walk into the bush, but he should have tanked it longer. You see how the melees hit the turret? Yeah, this was a huge mistake. If he didn't do that, if he didn't let these two melees hit the tower, he could have froze this wave indefinitely, and not indefinitely, but for a lot longer, and put the Aurelia even more further behind. So he should have tanked this wave for extra 2 seconds right here, and that way they would have had 2 melees and 4 casters, and this wave would have froze even longer. So that's just a bit of a wave management mistake by Dhokla coming out. So that ends up leading to this wave shoving back out. Dhokla actually cannot really walk up. He doesn't have the vision. He needs to wait until Malzahar shows up at mid before he can really go farm. As you can see, he's playing far back because he doesn't know where Malzahar is. So now he does see the Malzahar mid, and he starts shoving up. And Dhokla's goal right now is to shove this wave up and just get a nice reset off, because he has a lot of gold built up. So TF Blade right now is trying to keep Dhokla here, trying to keep him interested with these trades. And we see Warwick on this ward, he got spotted. They go for a 2v2. This is a pretty ill-advised 2v2 by Dhokla. Dhokla didn't have any buy yet, and look what it turns into, 2v1, 2 for 1 in favor of TF Blade. So right now, TF Blade, even though his laning phase was pretty much kind of ruined early game by Nunu, I think Dhokla definitely should have play this lane, like manage these waves a little bit better to put TF Blade even further behind. And this 2v2 was definitely ill-advised, and I really think that at the 520 mark, farther back, I think this was a good recall timing. He should have froze this wave up further. So if we go back a little bit, so right here, he has 1300 gold. This is enough. He can either choose to go to Phage or Sheen, either one. I'd probably go with Phage just because it's more of a safer choice. It gives you just like constant DPS through the form of AD, and gives you health, which is super important against Aurelia, because Aurelia does that true damage. So if you see right here, if he just walks right here and freezes this wave up, he can get a nice recall off and just TP back. And TF Blade already used his TP, and he doesn't really need to save his TP for much right now, because TPing bot is actually really risky because they have a Janna. TPing bot as Camille with Janna, I mean, they do have an Alistar, so maybe it could work out, but I think freezing this wave up and recalling was a much better idea, because of what he did right here, not freezing this wave up. Not only did he let the wave not freeze because he let the 2 melees go into tower range, he also didn't get a good recall off, which means that he didn't get his good buy off. And in the 2v2 that happens later, since he didn't have that any item purchase, he ends up actually losing the 2v2, which he should never lose with the lead, with how much of a lead he got. So it's level 6 Aurelia versus level 6 Camille. In a 2v2, Aurelia is going to be much stronger. Her ultimate is a combat ult, whereas Camille's ult is a utility ult. And look at the items. TF Blade has a stopwatch. He has a longsword over Camille. And level 6 Camille, as I said, is much weaker than Aurelia in a 2v2 sense. And you can see what happens. The Warwick comes up. The Nunu actually does have red smite, so his 2v2 is no slouch either. And Aurelia actually misses the not Aurelia, the Camille actually misses the E onto the Aurelia, which is a huge deal because he is also maxing E in this matchup. So missing E means that he doesn't get his 60% attack speed steroid, which is huge. So had he landed that E, Also, this is just a poor decision to go for the C, way too far out. But either way, TF Blade actually has stopwatch. He didn't use it. Oh wow, that was a big mistake by TF Blade. Then that should have been a 2 for 0 actually. He actually has stopwatch up. It's post 6 minutes, so he definitely had it. Yeah, that was a really bad mistake. So that should have been a 2 for 0, which means that it could have been a lane over for Dhokla, but instead they do pick up 1 kill instead. So look how this 2v2 turned out. Say Irelia stopwatch didn't live that, right? Oh, I gotta back up a little bit more. Say Irelia stopwatch right here, and Nunu just finishes him off. Irelia gets to farm this whole wave. He's on 800 gold right now. This is 6 casters and 9 melee minions. That should be around 250, 260 gold. So he can potentially buy a Sheen with that gold. And look how much that changes this lane. And look at the reset value. Dhokla is dead for 18 seconds, right? He has teleport up, but he's dead for 18. So had TF Blade lived right here and reset this wave, guess what happens? Him and Nunu can push this out a lot more quicker than Nunu alone does. So by the time this wave crashes into tower, Camille's ready to TP. Imagine if a TF Blade lived through that and pushed the wave with Nunu. He would have at least forced Dhokla to miss like 3-4 creeps. And on top of that, he would have had extra 200, 300 gold, and he would have maybe been able to afford a Sheen with like a boots, which puts a lot of pressure on Camille. So you see these little mistakes coming out, even from these 2 really great players. The 2 big mistakes being Dhokla's mistake to not freeze over here, and TF Blade's stopwatch usage. So Dhokla plays aggressive. He has his E, he has his flash, so he is okay. He knew that the Malzahar was missing from the pings from Azir. He is duo with the Azir. They're both on Optic Academy. This is a Palafox. Another E missed, and he has to flash out right here. So that was just an interesting decision to go for that E. I think he just rushed it a little bit. They know that they can win this 3v3, but wow, what an Azir. But this was pretty poorly played on Dhokla's part though. Let's rewind it a little bit. I mean, it ended up turning out to be a good fight just because of how strong this Azir is. This Azir is 26 CS up on the Malzahar. He is level 8 with a Stinger sword shoes compared to just Lost Chapter. And this E by Dhokla was just interesting. I think he could have just played it slower. So right here, you see the Azir coming up. You know that TF Blade doesn't have flash. You don't have to be the one really committing for a E. So right here, he E's in, and TF Blade and Nunu sees that and commits onto him. Malzahar is fighting the Azir. I guess it turned out to be a really good bait for the Azir. Why didn't Malzahar ult the Azir? I am very surprised. Did he not have ult? Is this bugged? Wait, when did he use Malzahar ult? Why does it... This shit's bugged. I'm pretty sure. I can't tell. Does he have it or not? Hextech Ultimatum's bugged too. What the f... When did he use it? He died, so I'm assuming he used it before he died. So he used it here, I'm assuming. And Malzahar, this is a patch 8.2, so Malzahar ult has been nerfed, the cooldown on it. Wow, that is a long cooldown. So Malzahar chooses to roam up, even though he doesn't have ult. I'm really not sure why. I don't know what the purpose of this roam is. He has 50 seconds left on his Nether Grasp. What is the point of this roam? This roam ends up costing them so much, and it's pretty much Malzahar's fault. Like this trade right up top by the Nunu Irelia was perfectly fine, and what ends up happening is Azir ends up coming in. Azir has everything up. He has both sums with Azir ult. What is Malzahar doing? He doesn't have ultimate. These two guys are fighting, and I'm pretty sure they think that the Malzahar has ult and they can take this fight, because they end up pretty much chunking Camille to a state where she cannot fight in. But the problem is that Azir's coming in with everything up, and Malzahar does not have ult. Does he have it now? I really can't tell. This vectored system is very buggy. But I'm pretty sure he didn't have it in the instance of that roam. Yeah, he didn't have it for sure. 30 seconds. And then that ends up costing them so much. Dhokla picks up another kill, Azir picks up another kill, and mid lane is just getting crushed on this part. TF Boy didn't really play this lane too badly, I don't think. His Nunu definitely screwed him over level 3, and he could have played better with the stopwatch level 6, and that definitely would have been better. I don't know what this Janna is doing, really not sure. But that's just going to be the VOD review for today. I'm just going to keep it short, just about the laning phase. But going back, definitely TF Blade got the short end of the stick in terms of the jungler draw. But Camille definitely messed up in terms of not freezing on time, and TF Blade fucked up on the stopwatch. But thank you for watching, guys. This was pretty fun to do. I might do some more of these later. Just gonna be doing some VOD analysis of high elo challenger top lanes. Doesn't have to be Camille. Might focus more on macro stuff later throughout the whole game. This video is just going to be about the laning phase itself, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a nice day.